Hi, I'm Al Golding. Welcome to the shop here at KYMCO USA. Today I'm going to demonstrate the installation of a winch and a windshield on the KYMCO UXV 500 side-by-side.
Hey Al.
Hey Stacy, how are you?
Good. What you doing?
I'm about to install a windshield and a winch on the UXV.
Yeah, just let me handle that and you can go take a break.
I like taking breaks, thanks.
The first step for installing our windshield is to press on the bottom gasket. We're going to do that by starting 2 inches down on the side of the windshield. Now that we've finished installing our bottom gasket, we're going to mount our top rail using the 4 fasteners that were provided. I finished mounting the top rail. This piece is used to install the optional soft enclosure. We have our windshield all assembled. Now we're ready to mount it to our UXV 500. We're going to do that using these easy to install clips. There's going to be 3 on this side and 3 on the other. We've got our clips in place. Now it's time to mount the windshield. For this, it's pretty handy to have a friend, so I've asked Al to come back and help me. Let's hope he can do okay with this. Once you have the windshield in place, you can let it rest along the bottom gasket while you put the fasteners in place. We're all done. The windshield looks great. Just remember, when you're tightening the fasteners, don't over-tighten them so you don't damage the windshield. Let's go mount that winch. Anytime I'm installing a winch, I find it easier to remove the hood and the front brush guard. This is such an easy process that I'm not even going to touch it. See, wasn't that easy? Everything needed is included in the kit, and to make it easier, I've laid everything out so I have easy access. To begin, we're going to install our ferrule lead or our cable guide to the front of our factory mounted bracket. I've tightened down the bolts on my ferrule lead. Now I'm ready to slide my winch into place on my factory installed bracket. But notice there's a rubber band holding the cable in place. Do not remove this rubber band at this time. Now you'll notice in the kit that there are 2 different size bolts. The longer ones are installed on the passenger side, the short ones on the driver's. Our winch is nice and secure. Now we're going to move to the electrical side of things. First, we're going to remove the battery cover. Then we're going to disconnect the negative side of the battery. Remember, always disconnect the negative side first. The battery is now disconnected. We're going to install our control block. This is what controls the winch. The recommended position for this is here on the front of the battery box, next to the rest of our electrical components. We're going to drill 4 holes and then use the provided fasteners to attach it. I've just finished drilling my holes. Now I'm ready to mount my control block. Note that I've cut an axis here in the battery box for my power cord. Now we're going to attach the winch to the control block using these color-coded leads. Notice that everything is color-coded for ease of installation. Now we're going to route our power leads to our winch. Be careful when you're doing this to position them so that they don't come in contact with any moving parts, like suspension or steering components. I've securely fastened the excess cable out of the way. Now I'm going to attach the power leads to the color-coded terminals. Looks good. Now we're going to remove our storage bin so we can install our dash-mounted control switch. We've mounted our bracket to our control switch. Now we just need to drill a hole in the dash pod here to run the wires through. We now have our wires run and we're ready to mount our control switch. You can mount it wherever you prefer. I like here on the side. To better demonstrate this installation, I've removed the ignition switch. We're going to be connecting the red wire from the control switch to the black wire of the ignition switch using this quick connect. We're now ready to mount our hook assembly. First, we're going to run the cable through our ferrule lead. To do this, we're going to set the winch into the free spool mode, and then we're going to cut the rubber band, making sure to hold the cable in place. The hook assembly is now mounted. Now I just need to press this pin into position. Looks good, we're all set. Our winch installation is almost complete. Now we're going to connect the main power leads to the control block to the battery, making sure to use the access that we cut out earlier. Remember, connect the positive first. Before we button everything up and gather up any loose wires, we're going to test and make sure everything's working. We're now ready to test our winch. We're going to do this by inserting the key and turning it one click to the right. Then we're going to select our control switch. And of course, it works. Our winch installation is now complete and everything works. All that's left is to button it up. And for that, I've recruited Al. We've just completed the install for our winch. Everything looks great, functioning properly. We've got the windshield mounted. Overall, it was a really good install. I even found a good use for Al. Hey, you missed a spot.